So I figured something out. I don't actually talk at talking volume when I'm talking in the house. I tend to talk at I'm talking to myself line, which is kind of more like this. And I'm just talking to myself, and then everything's alright because it's okay, because that's happening. So I'm going to try and talk a lot louder now when I'm at home when I'm filming this. So hopefully the audio quality is a lot better this time. I'm here to introduce you to another Wednesday Walks video. I today went down to the Grand Canal. As always, I'm going to leave this mostly unedited. Hopefully it's as bad as I remember, which is actually quite good. I've seemingly in 2 weeks gotten a lot better at this. For now, I'm just going to say that this Saturday I'm going to the zoo in Dublin, and hopefully you'll have a much better quality video for that trip. Talk to you later and enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Grand Canal Dock, where I am slowly getting over my fear of filming in public. I brought you to the Grand Canal Dock for this day because mostly it seemed like it was a bit nicer of a journey to take, a bit further away afield than the last one, and it actually would have, maybe taught you something. Now, the reason my Grand Canal Dock is only that reason. It really is. However, I thought it might be a good time to talk about the differences in, Dublin. Dublin is essentially, in my mind, a contradiction of terms. You have, for example, Westmoreland and Delir Street, which are two streets right next to each other, just off the beaten path of O'Connell Street, which is like the busiest street in Dublin. And Westmoreland Street is extraordinarily busy, has lots of shop fronts, always full of people, while Delir Street is essentially abandoned. There's 4 shops on it. One of them is a tanning booth, one of them is a spa, one of them is a pub, and the last one is a blood donation facility. It seems a bit off. And Dublin isn't the only thing that's full of contradictions. I mean, I'm full of contradictions, we all kind of are. But Grand Canal Dock seemed like a great place to kind of talk about it, because you don't get anywhere better for contradictions than here. Beside us here we have a fairly nice facility, mostly for people living in. As you can see, they are like apartments and stuff. Whereas right beside that we have Graffiti Town, of walls and rundown things with places where they're no longer building anything because it's so run down. It's weird, it's all over the place. It's kind of stereotypically Irish, We kind of do things disjointedly. When we do something really good, it's actually really decent. Those places are awesome. But when we aren't doing something, it kind of just falls apart. There's various different things on those walls, from I was here to we love you, and it's kind of all over the place. But it's, it's like the staple of Dublin. And opposed to that lovely art that you have here, which is actually really well done, you also have that kind of contemporary modern art, which is all the way down there, which hopefully you can see. I don't know if you can, but you see those standing red pole things? That's apparently art. I don't understand that art. This art I understand. This is something that I can get behind. Also, you might notice that all the way up there is a fuck ton of people. Down here, not quite so many. And originally I kind of half thought of this place because I one stage worked up here for I was doing a thing, I was setting up a stage for basically a show, and just beyond these people and those trees you can see that, you probably can't see, but you can now. So there's a fairly rundown amount of, oh wow, they've upgraded some of them. The sheds there were a lot more rundown previously, and we were setting up there, and I was kind of looking around and thinking, that's very different to everywhere else around here. Everywhere else around here is kind of built up and fancy, and you can see people walking around in suits and ties, and really obviously they work somewhere that's kind of important or good. But down here it's just a rundown shack of a thing. But more than the contradictions to this area, I kind of want to talk about some of the contradictions I have in myself. I'm not a very religious person. In fact, I'm kind of mostly against religions in general. No, don't get me wrong. You can practice whatever. I don't really mind if you're pagan, Catholic, Buddhist, or I don't really know anything else. I know a couple of other things, but I don't know. I don't have a good example. But I don't really mind what you practice. However, I kind of want it mostly away from me. Well, I get in this way. This is one of those that are like look at those places. They're not very well maintained. So, side angle again. Not really. Not as good an idea because I actually can't see myself. I forgot to flip the thing around. Hold on. There we go. I can see that you can see me. There are people there. Let's not get all the people on camera. So, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty decent with whatever religion you want to be. That's good. Just don't start preaching to me. It's really annoying. So I notice in some songs, there's always, there's like a line or a throwaway to like Jesus or God or being a Christian or something or another, and it vexes me. But it's only kind of with particular songs. There's a Mumford & Sons song which has a throwaway line about being the best warrior for Jesus or serving your God. That's what it was. And I kind of got pissed off at that line. I was like, oh, don't put that in that freaking song. Then the next day I was listening to a song, Heartland, which literally has the lines, oh God have mercy, Christ have mercy. Granted, they're in Irish. Oh, if you're ever wondering, the Irish for mercy is Trocra, which is why that, charity is named Trocra. Oh my God, there's so much glare. I didn't mind that so much. But it was kind of like, it was an obviously religious song, and that's okay. But it's not okay for a song that isn't obviously religious to have like religion throwaways in it. And I don't know why I think that. Maybe I think it's because they're trying to subvert my understanding, or like influence me on a subconscious level. And maybe I just don't like the idea of being influenced on a subconscious level, so I don't like those songs because they might be trying to influence me. But they're not, right? I mean, come on. They're probably not influencing me. I don't know if I'm getting the... Yeah, anyway. They're probably not as damaging as I think, or they're probably not being as manipulative as I think. But it's still a thing. Excellent. I'm gonna cross the road here. Not get hit by cars. So that's a contradiction of, like, my opinions. Some songs for religions are okay, and some songs aren't. And it's kind of dependent on, like, my mood. There we go. What a lovely view. Dublin City is great. It's kind of horrible as well. I mean, like, we've got all of these old buildings next to new buildings. It's a bit of a haphazard thing. New. Old. New. It confuses me. And I mean, my thought patterns confuse me on that one as well. But I guess I'm just going to have to live with it because it's who I am. There you are. Contradictions. In Dublin and in me. I don't know if it's a good thing, I don't know if it's a bad thing. It's just a thing. We're gonna have to live with them. At least for now. Right. I'm gonna head off because I'm getting some odd looks. I'll talk to you again sometime.